Have you ever read a book that has truly changed your life? Because for me, right now, it's The Courage to Be Disliked. You guys, the way that this book has been so life changing for me, I haven't even finished it yet, and I really feel the need to come on here and give you guys some of like the insights or the ideas that I have learned so far from this book and share them with you guys. So if you're new here, my name is Daisy, and I am the host of the Daily Cafecito podcast. Welcome to the space that empowers you to become the best version of yourself, one sip at a time. Except today, amigas, I do not have a cafecito because I have been on a calorie deficit, girl. I am 6 pounds down, honey, okay? Tell me you've been working on your discipline without telling me you've been working on your discipline because I am just so excited about it. Anyways, now that that's out the way, let's get into today's episode. I wanted to do something a little bit different because I kind of wanted to bring you guys along the book that I have been reading because, girl, if there is a book that I feel like I can truly say has changed my life, it's this one. But not only because it kind of has like two contradicting mindsets happening at the same time, but I feel like it'll kind of piss you off. Like it'll kind of challenge some of the thoughts that you have, or maybe some of the beliefs that you have in a way that truly makes sense. It's giving you sort of like psychological explanations to thoughts that we kind of humans, naturally, I guess, possess or naturally like think about. It is just such a good book. You guys, it is truly life changing. So if you have not read it, please run and go get it, girl, because it is truly such a good book. I've actually been listening to it on Spotify as an audiobook because it's just a lot easier for me to actually finish the book. But I have all of my notes down of everything that I have been kind of like reading through so far. And I really feel like these things could truly be life changing. So if you want to just get a little bit of the snippets of what the book is about, I'm not going to go fully into detail, but just share with you guys some of the ideas that have truly like changed my mindset, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, I will say that not everything in this book is like easy to agree with, but what I have been enjoying is how much it has been challenging my mindset because I feel like it's been a long time since a book has truly done that for me. I've read things on manifestation, even neuroscience, which kind of pieces things a little bit more like in an educational way that kind of just really makes sense. It's just how the brain works. But this is more so the way that we think and things. I don't know, you guys. It's just such a good book that truly is makes you think. And I love things like that. I even love watching movies like that, like those psychological thrillers that like really make you put things together. I am, girl, one thing about me, girl, I am such a nerd for that kind of stuff. And again, this book has truly done that for me. And I also feel like it's challenged a little bit of the thoughts that I didn't even know I had. Like some of the ways that, like some of the things that they were proposing, I'm just like, dang, I didn't even know. I don't even know how I thought about that. But then it just makes so much more sense. But okay, the first thing that I really wanted to talk about is that your past doesn't get to decide your future. And just to give you guys a little bit of a background story for me, I feel like this happened to me so much when I became a mom for a minute there. And it could have also been a little bit of some postpartum that I didn't realize that I had. But I felt like I dwelled so much on my past. Like I was constantly nitpicking certain things about my childhood and things that I didn't fully agree with that I still don't now, but I know that I am learning from them and I'm just going to be better from them and just not repeat them. But I feel like I was allowing them to consume me in the sense where I couldn't think of a moment where I was not thinking about my childhood and it wouldn't make me angry and resentful. And I have had a very productive conversation with my mom way back when, you guys. But you truly get like a new set of glasses when you become a mom. So I feel like there was just certain things that I'm just like, dang, like I would not allow that to happen. And not to say that I'm not going to make my own mistakes because I know that we are human and we're all going to make mistakes. And I understand that definitely a lot more now. But girl, it was making me such an angry and bitter person because I like every waking day, I'm just like, how could this have happened? Or, I'm going to be better than this and whatever. And I feel like this book has just truly taught me that, yes, all of those things happened, but you get to decide what happens after. And I truly feel like that is what is most impactful is not so much the situation that happened, but what comes after it. Are you going to allow it to consume you and that is all you're ever going to be and all you're ever going to be known for? Or what are you going to make out of it? Are you going to inspire people by telling that story? Or, I'm just speaking in general terms now. I also felt like I was constantly looking at myself and I'm like, well, I'm this way because of this. I'm this way because of that. Yes, all of those things can be true, but what are you going to do about it? And that's kind of like my biggest mindset shift now because I needed this so bad, you guys. I feel like I got a little bit of an obsession of always looking at myself of like, I'm like this because this happened. I'm like this because this happened. But you start to get into a loop where you start to question why, like why did these things happen, or why does this make me the way that I am? And, it can just go on and on. But you get into a loophole that you cannot get out of sometimes. And it starts to become second nature, where now that's all you're thinking about. And that's all you wake up every day to think about. But what really matters, you guys, is to figure out what are you going to do next? What are you going to do about it? Because as much as these experiences definitely have influence over you, they do not control you. They do not make you who you are. You really have to be careful, because speaking from experience, you can really make your past become your identity now and the current present person that you are in. Because girl, having that mindset of like, oh, I've always been like this, or this is just who I am. Like, you're really going to be stuck being the same miserable person if you constantly have that mindset, because that is completely untrue. You get to decide who you are. And that's not saying to be oblivious with the things that are happening around you, because definitely not. But I feel like the most important thing is your reaction and the things that happen after. And I'm going to be real, raw, and honest right now, because something that has been really a big challenge. I'm not going to say it's affecting me, but it's a big challenge for me. And that is being like a full-time working girly to now being a full-time stay-at-home mom. I've spoken about this so many times, you guys. I've had to come up with so much different structure that people probably call me crazy for. But girl, the way that I am on a routine and on a schedule, because as much as like I love being at home, it took a lot of practice to get to where I'm at now, because it was so life-changing for me. Like, it was so completely different. I was so used to going into an office and clocking in. So for me, it was so different to be the sole and only person to manage myself, girl. You mean to tell me that I have to set the schedule for me in order for myself to be productive and get things done? I really had to have like a really big wake up call with myself, because I felt like I was getting into a little bit of a funk, and like, oh my gosh, like poor me, poor me. Like, I don't have any time to do anything and this and that. And as much as my time has completely changed, that does not mean that I don't have any time at all, because who you are, girl, it truly is just a matter of practice. Like, or who you want to be is a matter of practice. And not to get back into like the neuroscience type of things, but the more that you continue to repeat something, the more that it just becomes a habit and it becomes a part of who you are. If you're just constantly nitpicking things about your past or things about yourself and always questioning why, let's start to question what. What are we going to do about it? Okay, so what, this happened to me when I was a child. And I'm not saying so what in a way to diminish or make it smaller what happened, because I know everyone's trauma is completely different. I'm not here to invalidate anyone's feelings, but I am here to try to give you an idea that I took from this book that I really feel like has helped me just kind of get over that hump to start creating the person of my dreams, the person that I want to be, not what has happened to me, not, the way people did me dirty or whatever the case is. I am in charge and in control of who I want to be moving forward. So the question is not like, why am I like this, girl? The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to be inspiring and tell your story? So if you have a very traumatic story that can help other people either move on, or you in some way can be an inspiring story for someone else, go out there and do it, because it's not so much what happened to you, it's what you're going to do afterwards. I don't know. I just really loved that perspective, because it really clicked for me that I was constantly dwelling on a lot of the bad things that happened in my past. And although 80-90% of my childhood was amazing and beautiful, there are still things that I want to change moving forward, whether it's through my motherhood journey, the way that I want to parent, or the way that I want to be with myself, like set a lot more boundaries, like not try to be a people pleaser, like not try to make myself small for other people or to make other people comfortable. All of these characteristics are something that you can become and can do if you consistently practice that, you guys. Moving on to the next thing, you guys, and like I said, these topics definitely make you think, but number 2 is the separation of tasks. And this one, girl, this one blew my mind, okay? So you ask, whose problem is this actually, right? My decision equals my task. Their opinion equals their task. My boundary equals my task, right? So when you question like, whose problem is it actually? It kind of goes back to the idea of like someone else's perception of you is their responsibility, not your own, right? What you do is your responsibility. It's not the other person's responsibility. Their responsibility is their perception. You cannot decide for people how they're going to view you, what they're going to say about you. They're going to have their own perception of where they tie in their own reality of their life and life in general to create this perception around you. That is not your responsibility. And that's something that I really had to take in because I felt like I was constantly trying to shift myself to make other people feel comfortable, especially when it came online. Like when it came to being on social media and putting my face in front of people and like speaking to people, I felt like I was trying to diminish a certain part of myself that I truly love and I am so, so proud of to make other people feel more comfortable. And I'm like, I'm no longer going to do that. Like, I am who I am. I am so happy with who I am because I've worked so hard to create her. And honestly, there's a lot of things that I feel like I still want to work on with myself, but I'm okay with it. Like, I am okay with my downfalls because not, I haven't accepted them, but there are things that I'm actively working on. And as humans, we're always going to have our downfalls. We're always going to have things that we need to work on and things that, are probably not our best qualities, but we get to decide if we want to focus on those bad qualities or those good qualities. But regardless, other people's opinions and other people's perceptions is not our task. It's not our job to decide what they're going to perceive us as. And it kind of goes back and forth, right? So then they have their opinion, which is their task. Then you have your boundary, which again is your task. Their reaction is their task, right? Kind of speaking into my terminology. So, like my content, it's my task to create this content, right? People's reaction to my content, the way someone perceives it, is their task. Unfortunately, I cannot always control the way that people are going to perceive my content, aside from like, cutting things out or, like maybe tweaking the way that I word certain things or whatever. It is my job to create the content in the sense of the way that I know best, but it is not my job to perceive it. I can come on here and be the kindest person, you guys, but I cannot control other people's emotions. I can be here and hype you up so, so much, but I cannot control other people's reaction. I actually have a really good example for this, you guys, because I'm not going to name names or whatever, but I was on social media and I remember I sent someone a DM because they posted something kind of, that there we go. It's their task and my task. They posted something just kind of sharing a little bit of something that they were struggling with and mentally and things like that. And I sent a DM, and actually, this person didn't know that I saw the story that they posted afterwards, but then they deleted it, but I caught it. So I sent them a DM, just kind of sharing, like, just really trying to validate that person in the sense, like, I'm someone who doesn't like to give dry ass responses. Like, I really love to put some intent and things into my responses because it means something to me. Like, if you're gonna get, some time out of me, like, I'm gonna try to put a little bit of intention behind it. So, anyways, I sent this person a DM, and then they posted like right after saying, I guess they didn't like my DM. And I was just like, oh, okay. But then they posted and I was like, oh, is this play about me? But this is just like a perfect example. In my eyes, I was being a kind and empathetic person, but in their eyes, I was, I don't know, I was hitting something that just didn't, hit good. And that just wasn't my responsibility. At the end of the day, I was just like, well, you know what? I thought that I was being an empathetic and a kind person by, validating their feelings when they posted the story. But then when I got that reaction, I was just like, oh, and they deleted it immediately after. Anyways, when I saw that, I was just like, okay, but this book really kind of like sort of described that and kind of explained that a little bit. And it just really taught me that, like, because I did feel bad about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was thinking about myself, like, did I say something wrong? Like, was there something that I shouldn't have said? Like, is that something rude to say? Whatever. But it just truly explains that, like, you cannot control other people's reactions because you could be the nicest, you could be coming out of, I don't know, in the kindest way, but it is not your responsibility to predict how someone is going to react to it. Something else that I picked up from this book is to stop doing emotional homework that belongs to someone else. And I think that this is a big one. And I feel like you see this a lot in relationships and friendships. And I'm not saying you guys to never speak to your friends and never vent to your friends. You are not in charge of carrying that baggage for them. So it's about speaking from a place of empathy and not in a place of like, well, how can I help you resolve it? Like, how do I resolve this for you? You need to start coming off of a place of, I could be here for you and I can support you in any way that I can. But unfortunately, this is something that, I can't completely take over, you guys, because at the end of the day, these people are their own human beings and you really have to allow them to take charge of their own life because you can't do it for them and you can't expect to do the emotional homework for them. So that was a big one. That was something really huge that I got from the book that I was like, wow, like That's big. I feel like you see that a lot within like family members and friendships, especially when you start to really hold on to other people's baggage. Because as much as you feel like you're not, you have to kind of decide whether you're going to be the one to really try and fix it, or you're going to be the one to just show empathy and just say, I'm here for you and I hear you and I know that it's hard, but you are not the one that's supposed to be fixing their problems for them. Okay, now moving on to the next one. This is another big one, and it's of course that you need the courage to be disliked. That's what this whole book is about. But being disliked doesn't automatically mean you've done something wrong, okay? You can be a good person and still disappoint people. You can set a healthy boundary and still piss someone off. You can change and make people uncomfortable. You can outgrow someone's version of you. This is a big one, especially when I became a mom, okay? If everyone has to approve of your choices, you're not actually free. Period, girl. Repeat that. If everyone has to approve of your choices, you're not actually free. You don't need to want to be disliked. You need to be okay with the possibility of it. And I love this because I feel like, again, my transition from, not being a mom to now being a mom, I lost a lot of friendships, I feel like, and not purposely. I feel like we just kind of grew apart. But I really think that people loved a certain version of me that I just no longer am anymore. I could be her sometimes, but realistically, it's just not who I am anymore. And that's okay. Like, that is completely okay. I also feel like one of the biggest perceptions in this book is that is just life. Like, you're not going to be liked by everyone. You're not going to be pleased by everyone. And you shouldn't want to be liked by everyone, because there's no automatic life without somebody misunderstanding you, you guys. Because I feel like that's just like the hard truth, is that not everyone is going to like you and you are not going to be for everyone. And that is completely okay. Number 4, this one was a good one, you guys. To stop making life a competition. Someone else's success does not make me unsuccessful. Someone being ahead does not mean I'm behind. Social media makes everything feel like a scoreboard. Who has the house, the body, the followers, the money, the marriage, the career? Comparison creates imaginary timelines. My competition is the woman that I was yesterday. Ask, am I moving forward? If yes, that's enough. Period, you guys. You're on your own timeline, girl. You are on your own timeline. You do not need to follow what everyone else is doing. Everyone's life is completely different. You are on no one's timeline but your own. And I feel like I've talked about this in the past as well. Like, let's just stop doing that, okay? Let's stop comparing our careers and the things that we're doing to other people. As much as we may be in the same industry, we are not the same people. We are not on the same timeline, and that is completely okay. I really had to give myself a little pep talk with this, you guys, because especially becoming a stay-at-home mom, I really felt like because my content transitioned, I was being so hard on myself and really focusing on my downfalls. And I'm like, dang, like my content is just so crappy now. Like, people are not enjoying what I'm posting, and it's because I'm a mom. It's because I'm a mom, whatever. I was using that as an excuse because I was constantly comparing myself to other people in my industry that have been working in that industry for years. I just recently made the transition into posting more mom content and more lifestyle content. So I was constantly putting myself on a scoreboard with everyone else. And that is not fair for me, because everyone else's timeline is completely different than what I'm on. Not only that, but like my goals are completely different. We're all different people. We envision and see our lives completely different. So stop comparing yourself. This is the last one that I'm going to talk about, because again, this one really affected me as well, especially with my transition with being a stay-at-home mom, because I constantly felt like I had to have all of these deadlines. And, especially with working in corporate, you guys know we always had like these deadlines and just always very fast paced. So this life is completely different for me because I set my own deadlines. But not only that, it's a lot more ordinary, a little bit more slow paced, but it's really teaching me that these little things do matter. Like, life doesn't always have to be extraordinary. It does, like, it doesn't have to be more competitive and, more successful. And we are obsessed with just always being extraordinary, more impressive. Ordinary does not mean insignificant. It does not mean that these little moments do not matter. And I really like that, because I feel like there's been a really big transition on social media that kind of really speaks on this, because a lot of us are romanticizing a lot of our morning routines, our nighttime routines. And I'm honestly so here for it, you guys, because these are just some ordinary tasks that a lot of us are doing every single day. And it's fair to say that they are not the most, like, we used to consider them boring, but now they're honestly like just such beautiful moments in our life. And I love that transition, because I do feel like we should hype up these ordinary moments so that we're not always constantly like looking for like the next best thing, This book is just so insightful, you guys, and I'm not even all the way finished with it. But let me know if you guys really enjoyed these types of talks, because I really feel like I enjoy enjoy speaking about all of these books that I have read and bringing you guys along with them, because a lot of the concepts and a lot of the things that I talk about come from these books, because I really feel like a lot of these books have shaped me. But this one is just so, so good that I really felt like I wanted to try something different and bring you guys along with me as I'm learning and kind of see if I can challenge your way of thinking just a little bit. And if I can't, then that's fine. But I really want to know if there is anything that I spoke about in this episode that you guys either think differently or want to challenge a little bit of something that I said that came from this book. Let me know, girl. Let's have a conversation down below. Or if you feel like you can sort of incorporate one of these ideas into your daily life that can really help you shift and just become a better person and a happier person, let me know too, girl. Thank you guys so much for joining me on another episode on the Daily Cafecito, and I will catch you guys next week. If you're listening to this on audio form, I'd really appreciate a rating so you could just let me know how I'm doing. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's do another Starbucks gift card. This time I'm going to pick somebody from the comments down below. So go ahead and leave me a comment no matter what it is, you guys. And if you are going to join, please leave me your email underneath your comment so that I can send the gift card directly to that email. And then I'll pick a winner and you'll be receiving an email from me with a Starbucks gift card. But again, thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you guys for coming back for another episode. And I will catch you guys on next week's episode. Adios. Sweat.